Hey everybody, this is Chris Aikawa from Nerdy Geek Talk, the source for all your nerdy geeky needs, here with a very special Avengers Endgame edition of Anime Overdrive. Joining me today, we have Russell. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well.
That's good to hear. Glad to hear it. And we have a very, very special guest today, the one and only MasakoX. Masako, my man, how are you doing?
Hello, y'all. How are y'all doing? And,
Pretty.
yeah, Goku's here too, apparently.
Ah, hey, Goku.
Yo! Alright, no, I'm just gonna go eat the craft table over there. See ya!
See ya.
It's okay, he does that.
Oh God, I might have a large amount of money, but my food bill. Oh no.
Don't worry, he'll only eat most of what you have.
I will abstain in order to reduce the damages.
I'm going to keep a safe distance away from the voracious Saiyan. So then, yeah, we've got the actual Masako X here today because we're talking about whether or not Thanos would make a good god of destruction.
Yes.
The man, the chin, the legend himself. Yeah.
Yes, the guy who basically looks like Nappa after he's decided to hold his breath for 20 years. Have you seen the photoshops of, like, putting Saiyan armor? It's like,
yes.
Hey, Vegeta, I can destroy the universe with the snap of my fingers.
God,
cool, Vegeta?
Damn it.
It's like,
God damn it, Nappa.
Stop showing off, Nappa, okay?
Oh, this is amazing already. So obviously we're just going to be looking at the MCU incarnation of the character, since the comics character has not only a massive amount of history we'd have to go through, but is more or less already a technical sort of god of destruction. In name, if not purpose. So, these gods of destruction, for those of you listening who are maybe not familiar with the Dragon Ball Super series, Masako, why don't you give us, the audience, a brief overview of what a god of destruction is and does?
Well, in short, a god of destruction is essentially like the opposite of what a Supreme Kai is. So what Shin is, the Supreme Kai of Universe 7, Beerus is effectively the opposite. They're meant to work with the Supreme Kai to keep some sort of balance within the universe. As in, there is creation and then there is destruction. Although there are various theories that essentially what it is actually, there is meant to be a third. What is briefly talked about earlier on in Super of the guy called Zalama. So he's in theories, he is the actual creator of Universe 7 and most of the Omniverse, and essentially what the Supreme Kais are to just keep order and observe. Because as you see many times, Goasu with Zamasu and all that just keep saying, our job is to observe, we're not meant to interfere. So Universe 7 and Shin and all that, they didn't get that memo, apparently. Yeah.
Incredibly, yes.
But the God of Destruction's job is essentially to make sure that with every creation, there is a destruction to maintain order, and that means things don't get too out of whack. So, yeah, maintaining some kind of equilibrium.
Exactly. Making sure things are perfectly balanced.
Unless you're Beerus.
In which case you go to sleep for thousands of years and allow a purple space dildo to destroy worlds at a time.
And basically when he gets up, when he does wake up, he's not aware of all the damage that Frieza's done, and then just destroys things on a whim. So,
exactly.
Yeah, it means there's only apparently 28 civilizations left in Universe 7.
Which is like...
Apparently. I'm pretty sure they'll retcon that.
Allegedly.
I would like to think so, because otherwise, to quote Joseph Joestar, oh my god!
Or if you want to do another Joseph, oh no!
Exactly. Oh, yes. So the purpose of the Gods of Destruction is to, well, maintain the balance. And now, people who might not know Dragon Ball, the Supreme Kais are essentially, at least as far as we knew back in Dragon Ball Z, were the big gods. They were the creators of worlds and life. You mentioning the passive observation reminds me of the Watchers from, that's what they're called? From Marvel. The big bald-headed guys.
Yes. They are omnipotent and omniscient. They are very much aware of what's going on in the world, but their job is to watch and nothing more. That is until you get into Dragon Ball Super and you realize the Supreme Kais ain't worth diddly, essentially.
Yeah.
And Shin,
There's always a bigger fish.
Shin has no idea about how to do his job. But to be fair, he was kind of just hurled into it millions of years ago.
Great job, Boo.
When all the others got eaten.
It's not like he had millennia or a couple of eons to figure out the job. But the whole point I find fascinating about Super is actually one of its core messages, and it does have one, is that the gods are incompetent. The gods are absolutely inept at their job. That's what it is, and with the likes of Jiren and Goku and all that, they're basically going like tapping on the guy, like, hey guys, we're getting kind of strong now, so you better pay attention to us, or we might whump ya. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
But so they've been just coasting, and then you see the likes of Goasu not aware of Zamasu harboring these ideas of malice towards mortals. It's really fascinating when you look down at it, that there's another thing. It's not just about the fighting and the action. Zamasu is pretty much the most profound narrative you can get in Dragon Ball. You're not going to get any deeper than Zamasu, and even then it's not that deep.
That was like, I think, the closest I think we've ever gotten to like a sort of almost an eldritch enemy in Dragon Ball.
It's a very modern interpretation of a villain. It's surprising.
I loved it. Like I'm only to volume 4 of the manga because, again, releases and such.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm loving that arc so far.
Yeah, no, the Goku Black arc is a very, very good one. It's it's just a shame that the ending of it is a little bit iffy. But you watched the anime, right?
I'm familiar with how it ends from certain things.
Let's just say that if it ended up at episode 66, everything would have been a great ending. Like the episode before what happens.
Right. That, and a spoiler, might want to skip ahead about a minute. Okay, there's a spoiler warning. Basically, they just press the insta-win button.
Yeah, pretty much. But I think we all knew it was going to happen. Because why would they give Goku that? I mean, they would think, Goku wouldn't resort to that thing, a cheap trick. No, they did. And, yeah.
And I wrote, I guess, you almost, sorry.
No, that's all right. It's just, they essentially, like, future Trunks was just nullified. Everything that he fought for was gone. And they're like, oh, okay, you can do some dirty work with Whis if you want. Yeah, okay.
It always kind of feels like he has some sort of a Pyrrhic victory, doesn't it?
Yeah, like Zamasu, you could say that he actually did win. He won in a way.
Yeah, he kind of Huh.
He got what he wanted. He got justice. He got mortals erased from that omniverse. So yeah, Zamasu won.
Oof. God. And on that note, we should probably discuss. Where was I going to go with that? Crap baskets.
Oh, you say that too.
Yeah, I learned it from watching you, Dad.
But yeah, no, it's the topic of Thanos as a god of destruction.
Right. So Thanos' own beliefs and such. So we were gonna. Oh God, I'm always so rambly, even on the best of days. But okay, as I was going to say. So with Thanos, his whole goal was balance in the universe, much like you would expect the god of destruction.
Yes.
Only I'd say his perhaps a little skewed, but we're going to take Thanos's ideals and goals and such, and I guess put them under a little bit of scrutiny.
Mm-hmm.
Where was I going with this? I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. Take your time.
No, don't worry.
And the worst part is none of this gets edited. This is always these always go up raw. So,
the raw experience is more visceral, more real.
It's
this
the
is true.
Geeky truth.
Oh my
As the public needs to know.
That is awesome. Yes. Okay. We're going to talk about Thanos. Russell, why don't you take over?
Oh God, why do you throw the ball to me? So, we're basically trying to figure out, based on all his ideals, his actions, his course and motivations, whether he would constitute a god of destruction.
Okay.
So, let's see. The base definition of a god of destruction, of course, if I'm remembering what we all just said, is to maintain balance through destruction of, what is it, probably threats to the universe, threats to the existence of other things.
Or essentially, you with one hand you create, or let's just say, who's seen Jupiter Ascending?
No.
I haven't, although I heard it was pretty.
It was very pretty, absolutely. And had it come out when it was intended, Eddie Redmayne would not have won that Oscar. It got delayed after he won that Best Actor Oscar. But essentially, his character, Purell, I can't even remember his name, Pyrell or something like that. He's like essentially a Joffrey of space. But
Okay.
he's such a hammy actor in this, the character, as in like he would just go, most of the time he would just speak like this, very imperial. But then he would just randomly shout like this. So there's this one thing, he just goes, I create life! And then I destroy it.
Ooh,
So,
nice.
as in like,
I love that.
and that is, if anyone out there's watching and has seen Jupiter Ascending, that is pretty much what Eddie Redmayne does. But the whole point is that, it's the whole idea of, Thanos' justification is that he allows life to thrive by destroying things, the excess. So, it's in a way to try and because that's the reason in Infinity War, spoilers in case anyone's not watched Infinity War, although I don't know why you would be watching, listening right now if you hadn't, but it's because he thinks that society and life has stalled. It's stalled and the universe is too small for what life has become. So, with a snap of his fingers, cut it down in half and things will be right as rain for the next few billion years.
Unless you're Spider-Man, in which case you don't feel so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like... yeah, exactly. So, the whole thing is that it's very much like a god of destruction. The god of destruction is meant to make sure that life doesn't get too... doesn't kind of get too big for its boots. The boots being the universe.
Right.
So, yeah, Beerus, and he's actually doing his job... Or I'd say the likes of maybe Jean from Universe 12. There's Vermood from Universe 11.
Or as my friend Paul calls him, Pennywise on meth.
Of course. Yes. They say that he's been doing his job for a very long time, nearly 200,000 years. Supposedly, if you read the manga.
Employee of the month.
Yeah, exactly.
Every time.
Supposedly, yes. But yeah, all these gods of destruction, most of them actually get the job, as in they understand what the purpose of it is. But Beerus has just been sleepy and eating, and
Sleepy kitty. Aww.
yeah, no, he just either naps or he tries to find good food, doesn't find it, and blows the planet up in protest. So,
like you do.
Yeah,
I mean, that's his ideal. His ideal is what's a threat to the universe? Bad food.
No, it's
Maybe.
He
Huh.
has an extremely short temper. So
No, he does.
yeah, he's got an extremely short temper. He'd rather not be doing the job. I'm pretty sure that I wouldn't be surprised that if he got that job under duress, like he was really strong, and we did not have another candidate, and Champa was around as a twin. And the only way they were, maybe perhaps the two of them were so extremely strong, they might have destroyed the Omniverse or one universe. So the best thing to do, turn them into gods of destruction in different universes. So they couldn't be near each other.
Oh, snap.
Could be.
That's a good theory. I like that.
I like it too.
Yeah.
Headcanon.
That could potentially be why, we have brothers as gods of destruction. You need to have them have a big distraction. So, yeah, because you'd imagine that Beerus, I mean, Shampa's a better god of destruction, as in, like, but then again, he allows his earth to kind of get scorched for some reason.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
he's like, hey, Beerus, can I borrow your earth? Mine's broken.
No! Stop asking.
For the last time, Shampa, I'm not going to give you my earth. You should have taken much better care of your own. Now please leave me quickly, Shampa, before I destroy you. Oh, Jason Douglas, you're so good as Beerus. I've actually had the pleasure to meet him, and when he and Ian Sinclair are on a panel, they are a riot. They are so good together.
Beast, right?
Yeah, he plays Whis, yes.
Okay.
And they're such a hoot. But going back to the main topic, Thanos, I think, if he were to, say, for example, he was probably setting out to look for, to find the Infinity Gauntlet, and the likes of, say, it's for Universe 7. Whis finds him and says, "Oh my, you're quite a strong-willed person, aren't you?" And Thanos is just like, they either talk it out, or, Whis is kind of thinking, hey, this guy might be getting a little bit too big for his boots. I better get him on the line. I am looking for a god of destruction after all. So, tries, reasons with him, and Thanos does his talk, trying to install balance, and then Whis would just say, oh, I've got just the job for you. You get to do what you want to do. Yeah, so that means he doesn't need to go and find the Infinity Gauntlet. So, yeah, he essentially gets the job and would accept the job because essentially it's what he wants.
Ultimately, yeah.
He probably would be on the more destructive side. He wouldn't be he'd probably be more along the likes of Frieza if he were ever a god of destruction. Because a lot of theories are saying that eventually Frieza might end up the god of destruction for Universe 9.
Universe 9?
Potentially.
Why not 7?
Because Beerus isn't going to give his job up.
Oh,
and he knows exactly what kind of character Frieza is. He wouldn't want Frieza taking his job.
This universe ain't big enough for 2 purple guys blowing things up.
Yeah, and besides, technically, Sidra and Rogue gave Frieza the opportunity. They gave him the job. They would offered it to him, or they thought he'd be a good candidate. And Frieza is tempted by the idea, so maybe if he gets bored of Universe 7, he might decide to,
these planetary destructions are so droll. Oh, there was that offer at Universe 9.
Because that's the thing. In that thing, Frieza's saying, one day I will destroy you gods. You gods are weak. And, that plot point, that doesn't go anywhere.
That's basically what I say every day when I wake up, though.
Yeah, but that's what Frieza would want to do. He'd effectively want to become a gangster, and he would want to bring down the god hierarchy from within. That's what he wanted to do.
Frieza in a fedora and a trench coat.
I mean, he's already fighting gold.
Yeah, all that glitters ain't gold except Frieza.
Only shooting stars break them all.
I do wonder something, though, canonically speaking, about a god of destruction.
Yeah.
They do technically take their orders. They too technically are given their job under an order, right? Which is what they do. It's not... Is it fully under their purview, or are they told to do something a certain way?
I think it's under their own jurisdiction. So long as they destroy things, and because the angels, so long as the angels, because they could just report to the Grand Priest and just go they're not doing their job, and then the Grand Priest go my, this won't do. And, the Grand Priest could take them out if they weren't doing their job. But I think Whis would be just I don't care. It's I don't care. I get to do what I want.
Because I was wondering along the lines of, technically, if a god of destruction, if your motivation would clash with the general prime directive of the job, if you would be considered as such, or if it mattered at all.
I think that would apply when you actually are offered the job, because Whis wants Goku to be the god of destruction, but he won't do it, because the one big caveat, and I think this is what's holding Vegeta back from taking it, because I think he'd be a very fair god of destruction. But the fact is, though, he would gain immortality, but then he'd have to watch his family die.
Yeah.
Like, he'd have to watch Bulma die. He doesn't grow old. He'd have to watch his, Trunks die. His descendants die. Little Vegeta Jr. in GT, he'd watch him die. And, or maybe even worse, when you become a god of destruction, you don't remember your memories. Your memories of your past gets erased.
That would suck.
The only reason Champa and Beerus remember each other is because that bond is so strong, it's never been proven before. So this is probably an anomaly that, Whis and Vados are going like, they still remember each other. Oh dear,
Neat.
that can't be good.
Neat.
No, it's like, this could be fun. Oh, well, absolutely, brother. That it would provide entertainment. But that's the whole idea, I think. So maybe it's either you need to have someone who has no ties, like they could just take the job and go with it, or they take the job, but little do they know that their memories will be wiped, and then that's it. But I think they would gain immortality, because obviously they would need to. But the question is, though, if you lose the God of Destruction job, do you stay immortal, or do you lose the immortality and then you die? You just live out your days.
I am of the camp of belief that the immortality is part of the God of Destruction powers.
Yeah.
So by having those powers removed, you lose everything that comes.
You continue aging from when you got the powers.
Like you mentioned in a previous video that it's like pressing the pause button.
Yeah. No, I'd say that's definitely it. Like, that's my best guess. That's the thing. We need Toriyama to come up with something, because there was a recent interview that he did, and he was talking about S cells, which is the thing that basically is Dragon Ball midichlorians.
No.
Actually, I'm doing a discussion video tomorrow, and I'm saying that actually Toriyama, through his own vagueness, has actually made midichlorians better. As in, like, because my fiance is a biology teacher at school, and she helped me out this. The whole issue with midichlorians is that they are described as organelles, and organelles are only things that you inherit down from your mother's side. So, I don't believe Shmi Skywalker Lars was a Jedi, or had any tendency to be a Jedi. So, yeah. If George Lucas, or whoever came up with the midichlorian thing, just did not describe it specifically as an organelle, it would make a bit more sense.
I concur.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So, organelles. But, if the case, with S cells, they would be described as, they could be seen as specialized cells, because the father's sperm cells are only transfer genetic information. That's all they do. But specialized cells, they can. So it's like the immune system, because immune systems learn to adapt, just like Saiyans do. So S cells adapt. They learn from memories, like from battles, injuries, diet, all those kind of things. They build through experience. So, yeah. It actually explains a lot, and why Gohan and the Goten and Trunks, like human Saiyan hybrids, have the most potential. Human mitochondria mixed with S cells in their DNA creates the ultimate form. That's why Saiyans have to survive. Saiyans have to survive, so they have hybrids. They have half Saiyans. Their DNA lives on, and they can adapt quickly.
That's actually really good. I like that.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
But that's just going off the back of various things about thinking about how life works and how gods of destruction work. Because you have to. These are the kind of things you wonder that when a god of destruction takes a job, do they remember everything that they do, or is it just like wiped clean and their biological presence just has the pause button pressed? It's interesting. So the question is, though, would Thanos, if he took the job, if he did lose his memories, would he still act the same way, or would he just let his instincts, his basic instincts take over?
Yes, because it's a good question. Because the whole reason he started his whole crusade was because of his home planet Titan was facing a population crisis, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And he suggested the whole killing half the population to save the rest, and they didn't listen to him, and they all died. At least this is according to him. I have a personal theory that he might have had something to do with it. But that's neither here nor there. The point is that memory, if what you're saying about memories being erased is true, yeah, that might affect some of his decisions and such.
Well, he wouldn't necessarily remember his entire...
Right, that's what I meant.
Entire directive.
Yeah.
But
yes.
At the same time, he might, he would still toe the line, and somewhere deep in his mind, it would, it would probably still be in there, just like
knocking around. Yeah.
It would be, but just to the point where he wouldn't be as barbaric, but he would still do the same things.
Right. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So, where now? Now then, where are we going to go from here? We've discussed the I guess we'll call it the job description of a GOD. We've discussed Thanos's qualifications. We've discussed potential side effects and consequences, as well as a bit of biology and such. I guess, where do we go from here?
Well, I don't know. I guess really with Thanos is that supposing that he maintained his memories, like, would he halt his pursuit of the Infinity Stones? So, like, say if he took the job and he got to destroy things, would he give it up? So would the Infinity Stones be left alone?
I have to I feel like he might pursue them even still, just because that's what he was doing.
But at the same time, though, I'm pretty sure that the likes of Whis or the Grand Priest would stop him.
This is true.
Because they are meant to be, out of all the gods of destruction, like, Beerus is apparently meant to be the 5th strongest. So he's like high mid tier, pretty much. So if Thanos is like, say, at that same level without the Infinity Stones,
with them, he would be very hard to manage.
Well,
but then the Omni King would just come down and just erase him.
Exactly.
So basically,
there's also one other thing I think though. Yeah. I think it's only to the comics because I know it has not appeared in the movies. But I think, isn't it canon in the Marvel comics that there's a set of Infinity Stones per universe?
Yes.
So
and they only work in that universe.
Right. So since he's dealing with multiple universes on a regular basis, would they do him any good?
Yes, because he could just wipe out the entire universe. But if he finds out that there's more than one, what's the point? Like, what's the point of doing that? Of getting the Infinity Stones? He thinks that he could basically wipe out half of everything in existence. No, he can wipe out half of everything in 1/12 of the Omniverse. So
exactly,
he's taking out maybe 1/24 of the population of the Omniverse, and that's it. That's not exactly what is hyped up to be. He believes that this will cure the problem. No, it won't. It's like putting a little Band-Aid on there.
Putting a Band-Aid on a chainsaw wound.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like I think Thanos would go mad. I think he would either go mad or he'd be in the state of despair that his one goal in life, it turns out, it would have been futile.
Ooh.
It would have been futile. So the best thing, all he could do, is if he can't create ultimate balance throughout the Omniverse, then I guess he just toe the line and do what he can, try to be a fair god of destruction in his own universe.
Yeah.
So I think he would initially toe the line.
Agreed.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah, he would initially toe the line, and then he probably would end up he would start to build up resentment that there are beings more powerful. So I think he would eventually try to look for the Infinity Stones, but I don't think he'd either find them but Whis is meant to be his attendant and go everywhere he goes. He would have to try and like indoctrinate Whis. So he would have to try and convince Whis to let him do what he wants to do. And Whis will either say, well, no, I can't let you do that. Or he'll just go like, fine, whatever, I don't care.
You just play along and humor him for a little bit.
So there's no way to actually predict that in any capacity.
No. So, but then...
I feel like it's like it could either end one of two ways. Either, like you mentioned, he toes the line, it gives up, or he gathers them all, goes at Zeno with a fist, and then just boop, gone.
And then Whis is just like, oh, it's a shame. I kind of liked him.
Or just face palms like,
I told him. I told him, but would that purple dude listen to me? No.
Just like the last one.
Yeah. So
goes for an orange guy next. Just opposite color. Maybe this time. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe they're all purple. Anyway.
So I think that's pretty much how it would go. He would either toe the line or he'd try and make a run for it and just ultimately get erased.
Yeah.
Defo. So, ultimate judgment call. Thanos, good god of destruction. Yes or no? I'm gonna say yes.
I would say yes, but so long as he rolled with it.
Exactly.
So that's what I was gonna say.
I'd say yes, but he'd have to. But so long as he gave up his quest for the Infinity Stones.
Yeah. And I think that's probably the consensus we all had coming into this too. But still, it felt like a fun video to make, and yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And I still can't. I was at work when I got your response to my tweet, and I let out the biggest whoop. my coworkers were just like, "What?" I had to explain that Goku said yes, and they didn't understand. He did not understand. But yeah, so this is the part of the show where we just go over our social media. So why don't you go first, Masako, since you're the big important guest?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm important or anything like that. But if you want to know what I'm up to, you can check me out, MasakoX on Twitter. Same on YouTube, Twitch, pretty much everywhere. So long as you look for MasakoX, you'll be able to find me.
Yeah, and you can find me on Twitter. I have 2 accounts. My main, which is I can only recommend you follow if you're 18 or up only, due to the nature of my likes and retweets. That is at Shingeki.ass. I am there quite often when I'm not at work, and even when I am, shouldn't be. I have a YouTube channel, Sonozawa Productions, where I do plan to record the next few chapters of War of the Yokai here real soon. If you do not know, War of the Yokai is the light novel / manga my brother and I have been writing since 2013. It's really good. I will admit the mic quality. I apologize for that. I'm still working on finding the right balance in OBS. But if you can get past the mic, it is actually a really good story. Other than that, oh yeah, my other Twitter account, right? My other Twitter account, which is safe for work, is at KomeMom. I'm usually not on there, but if you tweet me something there, I will see it and I'll get back to you on there. And other than that, I think that's it. Russell?
Oh, yeah. You can find me on Twitter at Altered Ego with 2 underscores. You can also find me on my regular podcast, which is at Raketo Punchy, just a general animation, whatever the heck we want to talk about podcast. I'm always around, and most of my stuff you find on Twitter is just ridiculous nonsense.
All right, and finally, you can find this podcast as well as many others in the Nerdy Geek Talk network by looking up Nerdy Geek Talk on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, basically just about anywhere you can get podcasts, as well as the Nerdy Geek Talk Twitter. Also, make sure you subscribe to Steel City Bots. That is the main podcast on that channel. It's a Transformers podcast. A lot of fun. I'm on it. Not as much as I used to be due to the baby, but I'm going to be hopefully getting back on there soon. That's where you can find, like I said, Steel City Bots, Anime Overdrive. There's a few others that I can't remember. I'm sorry. But you can also follow at Steel City Bots. And I think that's about it. So once again, Masako, thank you so much for coming, man.
You're very much welcome.
And until next time, this has been Christabella. Sayonara. And we're good.